Hello everyone and welcome to day 73 of the N10 series. We are at the end of the N10 series, maybe another 2-3 videos. Today we are diving into Model Context Protocol, or simply called MCP. So if you have heard the buzz about MCP and how we can build smarter AI agents with it, but not sure how it works and whether you should care, stick around, because we will break down what is MCP, what are the pros, what are the cons, what is the difference between MCP and APIs, and what the future could be. So, what exactly is Model Context Protocol, or MCP? At its core, MCP is a universal, open standard designed to connect AI systems like large language model to a wide variety of data sources and APIs. Instead of building one-off integrations for every new tool or platform, MCP acts as a translator, giving AI agents contextual understanding and control over many different API endpoints through a single protocol. Now let me explain what does this mean. Now if you want to build an AI agent that can understand our availability from our Google Calendar and then book a calendar invite for the user who is chatting on the other side, then we'll have to make two API calls, right? One which fetches our availability, the second one which creates an event. Likewise, if you want to send an email and so on and so forth, then you connect with Gmail API, right? Instead of that, you could create all these APIs into MCP. That MCP could then be connected to AI agents, thereby ensuring that the AI agent could just interact with one MCP and rest of the things is taken care by that MCP. Now, you might feel that what's the use? We anyways have to connect these APIs, right? But think about it this way. Now, if Gmail starts giving you a MCP instead of those APIs, then you could directly connect those MCP into your AI agents, right? There are a few platforms who have started giving MCPs as a whole instead of just APIs for different things, right? It could be check for availability of hotels, check for something else, and make a request for booking a hotel, and so on and so forth, right? So you just connect your keys and then you ask the AI agent to do a particular job and it checks with MCP and gets the job done. Don't you feel that's amazing? So let's understand how do we use MCP in N10, right? Let's get started. So let's understand how we can use MCP on N10, and then let's understand about a bit of history and pros and cons and all of that. Okay. So we already have an AI agent here, which will take the input from the user via a chat node here. This could be connected to Telegram, this could be connected to WhatsApp or Slack or anything. We're just using N10's chat node just to understand how this example is right now and how does MCP change this, right? So we've got the AI agent here connected to Gemini 2.5 Flash. We have a simple memory. We have send a message in Gmail, right? We have a Slack which will send update to us. Okay, we have a calculator node and we have search records in Airtable. So in Airtable we have the project details here, okay, along with the customer name, the customer email, the amount, priority, project status, and so on and so forth, payment status, and so on and so forth. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to send a message over here, okay, to check the details about a particular project and then send the email to the customer for the payment. Okay, I'm going to mention in the AI agent system message that use the calculator node to multiply 1.2x of the original cost, as 20% would go to the platform fees. Okay, again this is a random example that I'm showing you here how to use calculator node. Okay, So the message that I'm going to send now is something like this. Send an email and a Slack message to the user under project Gamma, saying that the project is completed, okay? And also include the amount they are supposed to pay in dollars, right? So email is going to them, but the message in Slack is actually coming to us, okay? So let me just hit enter. So you can see here it has searched for the record. It has used simple memory. It has used the calculator, right? So let's quickly check here. It says 3840, right? And that was for Gamma. And Gamma had 3200 as its original value, okay? And 3200 into 1.2 times is 3840, right? So that's exactly what it has done. And it has sent an email and the Slack message. So let's quickly go to Slack. So I'll quickly show you that I've got a message just now, right, which says Project Gamma for Sanskrit R is completed. The total amount to be paid is 3840. Not just that, it has also sent an email. So you can see here, we've got the email being sent to them, okay, and it says, Dear Sanskrit R, we are pleased to inform that Project Gamma has been successfully completed. The total amount due for the project, including platform fees, is 3840. Thank you for your business. Sincerely, your company. Okay, so we have to refine that a bit, and that can be done over here. System message, email that's going out needs to be in HTML format. Also include the company name as with 7 automations. Okay, so let me just save this and let's quickly send the same message. You can see that it runs through again. Okay, so it says it has sent. Let's quickly check. I'm showing you the Slack. Okay, this has come in. Now I'll show you the email. This is the new email, and you can see that this is properly formatted, right? With the company name and all the things formatted properly. So I'll just quickly close this. Now let's move on and see how does MCP change this time mix. Okay, so for that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open a new N8N workflow, and let's call this as MCP1. Okay, and we search for MCP. We have MCP server trigger, right? We have a test URL and production URL. So let's leave it as of now. Come back here, and we have the tools, right? Come back here, copy these tools that we have over here. Control C, come back here, Control V. So we've got these tools. Just drag it and drop it like this. Connect each of this. Okay. Now you may call this MCP as anything that you want, right? MCP1 or whatever it is. And we can take the test URL or the production URL. Okay, let's copy this. One of the things that we'll have to do is make it active. Right, click on OK, close these things. Okay, come back here and let's remove these connections. Move this aside and connect MCP client 2. The endpoint that we copied from there is what we have to paste it over here, right? Rest everything we can leave it as is. If you want to add some authentication, you can do that, right? Better auth, header auth, and so on and so forth. We have covered this in one of the videos, so if you want, you can do that. Okay, tools to include all selected, all except a few, and so on and so forth. So if you go to selected, then you will be able to select tools, whatever we have selected in whatever we have connected in this particular MCP server, right? So you can select from here, calculator, send a message in Slack, send a message in Gmail, and so on and so forth. Search records in Airtable, and so on and so forth, right? We'll go with all for now, right? And rest everything we'll leave it as is, nothing changes. I'll just click on save, and I'm going to send the same message. Okay, this has run. You can see here, we just got this particular message on Slack. I'm going to show you that the email has also been processed for the third time, which is here, okay, which is exactly the same. So the question is, how is it really helpful? Now, we have created a LCV which has been connected to Airtable to search for records. We have connected it with calculator. We have connected it with Gmail. We have connected with Slack, right? Where we can send an email via Gmail or we can send a Slack message via Slack. Now, you could connect this MCP for multiple workflows. You can select what are the tools that you need for that particular workflow, and it just gets connected and does the job for you. Not just within n8n, you can connect this MCP for any web application that you have created, and that's massive. You would just control the entire thing from one MCP, and it gets connected at all the workflows or any web applications that you have connected to this MCP, and works just fine. Isn't that powerful? Now, if you connect a lot of tools to one MCP, there could be some latency because AI has to understand which tool to call and so on and so forth. So that decision making might add some latency. But as long as you have a limited number of tools added, it's all good. And this is the way you can actually scale these workflows without having to change a lot of things if you have a big system fully automated using AI agents. Now I'll walk you through how we can build a large system using MCPs. So if you remember, we had created an AI agent meant for newsletter, right? So if we go back to that particular video, which is that particular workflow, right, which is newsletter agent, then we have a lot of tools connected. So transcript extractor, we have these 3 agents. Research agents, we have 2 tools connected here. Writer agent, we don't have any tools. That's a bit strange. Yeah, so we didn't need anything to any tools to write, so that works perfectly fine here. And yeah, structured output. So here what we can actually do is connect these 3 things, right? Like copy this, and let's make one more MCP agent, and let's call this as transcript extractor MCP, right? Transcript extractor MCP, and let's call here MCP server trigger. Okay, let's copy this, come back here, paste this. Just give me a minute. We just wanted to copy these things, copy 3 nodes, come back here and paste it. Yeah, it should have just directly pasted, nothing to import and all, right? I've already copied the production URL. So I'll click on activate this. Okay, click on got it. This is good. Come back here, disconnect these 3 things, move it over here, and directly connect MCP client tool. And we have to give the that didn't get copied, looks like, or rather I copied the nodes after that. So I just have to remove this, put this particular thing here. Of course, if you need authentication and so on and so forth, just use that. We have this over here, right? Likewise, we can do it for this particular thing, research agent. Okay, and let's go here and let's create one more, and we're going to call this as research MCP. Again, MCP server trigger. Okay, so I'll copy it later. So paste this over here, connect, go over here, production URL, copy this, activate. So once that's done, come back here, disconnect these 2 tools, get it down. I mean, we can delete that. And let's call the MCP client 2. And let's add the URL that we've copied. Right? Click on save and click on execute workflow. So I'll just check which was the email that we used, support. Okay. So I'm going to open it up once it is ready. So we can see here we have some issue here. Okay, it says it has received something, did not match. So we can go to transcript extractor MCP. Let's go to executions and see what actually happened. Okay, we didn't have anything in the rule sheets maybe. So if you recall, we had created a newsletter agent long back, right? And we have used this transcript extractor over here, right? So these three tools could be added as one MCP. These two tools could be added as one more MCP. And the first MCP could be connected over here, and the second MCP could be connected over here. Now, if we need these three tools for the same purpose in any other workflow, instead of adding this all over again, we could use it as a MCP that we have already created. So that's how you can use MCPs at multiple levels. So in short, think of MCP like a universal remote for APIs. Instead of manually teaching your AI how to talk to every individual app, you connect it to MCP, which then allows your AI to access and control all integrated endpoints with clarity and intelligence. So show some animations here. So let's understand some pros and cons before we end this video. Pros, the first one, faster agent creation. Developers spend less time manually wiring up every single API. The MCP standardizes the process, making it incredibly fast to add new capabilities. Second one, smarter, more flexible agents. Because the AI has visibility into all available API endpoints via MCP, it can reason and make choices based on real context, resulting in more agentic and autonomous behavior. Third one is scalability. One protocol connection can unlock access to dozens or even thousands of tools, making your AI much more powerful with less efforts. The fourth one is better user experience. With all integrations unified, responses are smoother and more seamless for end users. Now, let's look at some of the cons with MCPs. The first one is potential for errors. Because MCP can expose many endpoints, there's a higher chance of something going wrong if the agent acts unexpectedly, or if the developer hasn't set up proper permissions. The second one is prompt reliance. Actions through MCP are often driven by prompts or natural language commands, which can lead to mistakes if not engineered well. The third one is latency, like I mentioned already. Having access to lots of endpoints means processing more information, which could slow down your agent's response times. So please be careful on number of tools that you connect to your MCPs. The fourth one is not yet a universal standard. MCP was created by Anthropic, and while it's open source, other companies like OpenAI could roll out competing protocols. The landscape could shift rapidly, making the choice of protocol a risk. So, should you start building with MCPs? Yes, start with small MCPs, which can then talk to your AI agent. Do not connect all of the tools to one MCP. That can be error prone because it all depends on how well your prompt is, right? So start with something small, and as you get comfortable with it, add more and more tools. Like I mentioned, the latency could be an issue if you add a lot of tools as well. I hope this video was helpful, and if so, please do share with as many people as possible so that they can also learn about MCPs. I hope this video was helpful, and if so, please share it with a couple of your n8n enthusiasts who wants to learn more technique in enhancing their workflows. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.